Dude.
This one is going to be a good one.
So,
This one right here.
I don't know if you've heard.
I've heard.
Do you know? Do you know who Colleen Hoover is?
Oh, I know who that is.
You know who that is? She's that bitch. I'm sorry. She's that bitch.
Respectfully.
Who you see at every bookstore.
Yeah.
Always the books of like recommended readers.
Recommended by Book Talk.
When you go to Target or Walmart, it's 90% of the books they have. Also, Colleen Hoover fucking spits these shits out. Like, she just book after book.
I don't know how she does it, honestly.
I don't either. Some of her books are like 5,000 pages long, and some of them are like written on a napkin. So she's got everything for everyone, every flavor. She's got it.
Mm-hmm.
November 9th has been a book that I've seen around since we've started, like, really avidly being into books.
Uh-huh.
And I never wanted to read it.
I'm going to be honest. I've read this one before. But.
When? Wait, without me?
Yeah,
Wait.
I know. Well, okay, to be fair.
I always knew that there was going to be a before this and an after this. Wait. And a during this, but I never thought there'd be an after this.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. To be fair, though, I kind of blacked everything out and I didn't remember much. I just knew that I fucking hated Ben. That was all I remembered. But the reason why I read this book was because don't you just see those videos on YouTube where it's like, I read this Colleen Hoover book, so you didn't have to.
Yes.
And I saw a lot of YouTube videos that were titled something like, I read Colleen Hoover's most popular books, parentheses, they suck. And so I was like, you know what? How bad can it be?
How bad?
How bad can it be? Well.
Here we are to talk about a book that hopefully... Wait, hold on.
Wait.
Fix our lives. Are you ready?
Yes.
Welcome to the Book Fix Podcast, a podcast where we fix lives one book at a time. I am your host, Cheli.
And I'm your host, Yajaira.
And
this is November 9th by Colleen Hoover. Did we already say that? I think we did.
we are being dragged.
Dragged through the mud.
I thought we were done with her. I
No, you didn't.
really thought we were. When we finished It Ends With Us, you know how much I loved Atlas Corrigan.
It starts
the fact
with
that I
us.
know his whole fucking name.
It starts with us.
Okay, first of all, I was talking about the second book. Oh, wait.
Yeah, which is
Shit,
titled,
I'm not a fan, I
It
guess.
Starts With Us.
Not a co-head. But
I knew it.
I thought that was the end. And then we kept going.
We did Verity, which we both
We've
enjoyed.
read 5 books. We did enjoy Verity, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Oh my God. And that just hit me. I need to sit down. Okay.
You are sitting
I need
down.
to sit farther than I
need to
am.
stand up.
I didn't want this for us. But you know what? We're here.
Sometimes you just got to roll with the punches. But why don't we just get started?
Let me just get started. This
So-
book starts off with our main girl, Fallon.
Mm-hmm.
So Fallon is going to, I guess it's like a public food place.
It's a restaurant.
She's going to go eat with her dad.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just kind of like not feeling it.
She's angry.
She's angry.
She's just like, how hard can I just like grab his head and just bust it through this glass?
Dude, okay, can I say, I don't like how Colleen Hoover starts books. I hate that she always starts with the most outrageous sentence to make you be like, oh my God, it's that type of book. No, it's not.
But then it's not. Like, you think
Can I
that
read the first
Fallon is really violent, but she's not.
Yeah, you said it correctly. I wonder what kind of sound it would make if I were to smash this glass against the side of his head. It's a thick glass. His head is hard. The potential for a nice big thud is there.
I think that we're supposed to be like, we've all been there, right? We've all been there.
I hate that shit. Dude, that gave me such an ick. I was like, shut the fuck up. I don't want to be here for this shit.
I literally just wrote, what the fuck?
I'm over it already.
Okay, so basically our girl Fallon is only 18 years young. And she's meeting up with her papi because her dad's not really around her life. And she's like, hey, Dad, maybe let's have dinner sometime. I don't know. So they're having dinner. And apparently the dad is like this famous actor.
Yeah.
And the waiter is like, oh my God, wait, are you that guy in that one movie? And he says the name, but I don't really care to know the name. You're that guy. And he's like,
the one and only.
He's like already like putting on makeup. He's like,
wait, don't take a picture of me.
Hold on, I gotta contour.
Wait, hold on. Fallon, drop water on me. Like, don't take a picture
I
of me.
look sexier wet, okay? Do it. And so, you know, Fallon is trying to have this moment with her dad, but her dad's kind of a jerk. Like, he's so into himself.
He is. And then she's over here talking about, like, you know, I want to move to New York. You know, that's the thing. I'm already doing it. I'm moving there tomorrow. You have to support it. And it's like, yeah, but you're going to be one of them Broadway bitches. Like, you don't even have, you don't have the looks.
Yeah.
And that's really fucked up because she has a horrible burn scar on the left side of her body. And it's her entire left side.
Yeah. And I mean,
her body.
We quickly learned that her dad, not that he's responsible for this, but he didn't necessarily save her from this, right? Because I think Fallon immediately is like, well, he didn't know that I was there at his house when his house was on fire or whatever. And so she's trying to have this, like, you know, this, like, heart-to-heart with her dad, but her dad's not really complying with her.
Yeah.
And he's just, I kind of was sad that he was like, you know what? You could have been something, but no, you're not.
No, you're not.
All those flaws.
Can I say something? This conversation between them before our next main character shows up felt like I read 40 chapters. Didn't this feel like the longest exposition in, like, the fucking world?
Yeah, but because I feel like so much was revealed through it. Because we even learned through her conversation with her dad, is that they're not close enough for her to invite him to her graduation. Yeah. And he's just like, why didn't you invite me to your graduation? I could have been there. And she was like, I knew you weren't going to go, so why would I invite you? Also, I didn't have enough tickets. See, you didn't invite me because you didn't have enough tickets.
Yeah, it was so bad, dude. I fucking hated their conversation. But what I hated more was the fact that in the heat of this conversation, a stranger just pops up.
She goes to the bathroom.
Oh, yeah, she does go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And then
because the waiter comes and he's like, I saw the name. Donovan O'Neill. You're Donovan O'Neill. Oh my God, I'm obsessed with you. And they want to take a picture. And of course, the dad's like, Fallon, hold the camera.
You're my good side. Just kidding. They're all my good side.
But Fallon's like, you know what? I'm going to go to the bathroom. Just take a selfie with him. So she's walking to the bathroom, goes to the bathroom. And I think she's like looking at herself in the mirror. And this is like a moment where we learn that she's very ashamed of her scars.
Yeah.
Because like people will walk by and so she'll purposely like hide herself with her hair. And she doesn't want people to look at her because she knows that when people look at her, they look at her scars and they're kind of like awkwardly look away and they don't know what to do. Yep. They're just like, this is awkward now.
Yep. I fucking hate that shit.
And then what happens when she walks out of the bathroom?
So she walks out of the bathroom. She sits down, ready to fucking destroy her dad. Round 2. Sorry. And so then
she notices someone.
Well, she notices a guy. And the guy smiles at her.
Looks at her. Because she was just talking about, like, people not looking at her.
Yeah. They look at each other. They smile at each other. And then she's like...
No, he's smiling at her and she's just looking at him like, ugh.
But she sits down. Doesn't she think, like... Oh, she says like a weird description of him. Like, he has that 5 o'clock shadow that's not really like a 5 o'clock shadow. Mm-hmm. Like, he's doing it effortlessly, and I get it.
And I'm obsessed with it.
It's like, what the fuck? Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm. Whatever. Now she sits down, right?
Yeah, she sits down.
Round 2 about to start.
With the dad.
And then fucking this stranger that she saw puts his hand around her and is like, hey, daddy-o.
Hey, Dad, I'm sorry I'm late. LA traffic, am I right?
Sorry. Hey, girlfriend of mine.
Who I've known for a long
time. I'm sorry I'm late. I just really was super excited to meet your dad. So, hey. And then Fallon's just like, I can't believe it. This stranger is pretending to be my boyfriend.
boyfriend.
Like, is he doing this because he heard the conversation? It has to be the reason, right?
Well, what conversation were they having? The dad literally brings up the fact that you've never even had a boyfriend. Or when's the last time you dated? And she like looks at her dad and is like, well, I mean, look at me. Look at me, bitch. Look at what you did, bitch. And then that's when Ben is like, hey, girl.
Hey, girl.
Sorry I'm late, babe.
But yeah, he totally. Oh, dude, he does the thing where fucking Fallon's dad was like, well, since you're dating, you must know who I am. Fallon, spray me with water. And then he's like, I'm sorry. Who are you?
He's like, I know why you're really with her. I know why you're with her. It's because you love me.
Fine, I'll date you.
Oh my God. No, but yeah, he does that, right? He's like, wait, who are you? Oh, that show?
Oh, yeah. No, that show was lame. I really hated the main guy. What the fuck was his name? I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. But he's just like, you know, I heard you putting down my girl over here.
My beautiful girl.
She's so talented. I fucking love her. And she can get anywhere she wants. And you think you're going to be a good dad by putting her down and telling her she's ugly as fuck? She's beautiful as fuck. Shut the fuck up. And so then that conversation ends, I think. And the dad leaves. And it's just Fallon and Ben. And Ben's just like, okay, who the fuck are you?
No, Fallon is like, who the fuck are you?
And Ben's like, I'm your boyfriend.
Obviously.
We started dating like 10 minutes ago. Catch up, babe. Come on.
But okay, hold on. Let's pause for a second.
Okay.
How did you feel about Ben? Because immediately after this, we're like pushed into Ben's perspective. And I just know that you loved the way that he looked at our main character, where he was like, I know she isn't shy. I could tell by the way she spoke to her father that she has sass. So I'm a little confused by her silence right now. I swallow my bite of food and take a drink of my soda, maintaining silent eye contact with her the whole time. I wish I could say I'm mentally preparing a brilliant apology, but I'm not. I seem to have a one-track mind, and that track leads straight to two things I shouldn't even be thinking about right now. Her boobs. Both of them. I love the both of them. Not her left, not her right.
First of all, Colleen, fucking comedy genius. Oh my God. Dude, where did she come up with this shit?
Hold on, it gets worse.
Oh my God.
I mean, it gets better. Hold on.
Of course, yeah.
He wrote, I know I'm pathetic, but if we're going to just sit here and stare at each other, it'd be nice if she were showing a little cleavage instead of wearing that long sleeve shirt that leaves everything to the imagination. Bitch. It's pushing thank you. It's pushing 80 degrees outside. She should be in something a little less convent inspired.
Okay.
A lot less convent inspired. So, yeah, and then she starts talking, but he's not listening because he's like, of course my thoughts lead to her breasts again. Are they scarred too? How much of her body is actually affected? I just wanted to fucking scream, bitch.
Dude, okay, first of all, I said, I hated the beginning of this book so much because I felt like I lived at that restaurant. I wanted to leave.
I was the waitress.
The fucking waitress was like, you guys haven't eaten. I've been here for 12 hours. You guys haven't eaten. That guy left. Donovan, whatever the fuck his name is.
O'Neill.
He didn't even fucking touch his food. All he did was waste our water. Like, I can't fucking do this shit. So they're over here having fucking exposition. And I fucking hate that he's over. Fucking Ben. Ben is the fucking definition of hair over your face type bitch. Because he's just kind of like, Fallon's really going through it. And she's like, why did you even? I bet when you looked at me, you thought I was ugly. I bet you thought that. I bet you're only doing this because of pity. And he's like, no, babe, because we're dating. No, the only thing that ran through my mind is if she wears a thong or panties.
Or what color is her underwear?
Yeah, I'm a gentleman, baby. And she was like, baby,
you got me. Oh my God. So she's charmed by him because he's so fucking charming.
Also, okay, one of my ex, Well, I mean, it's an ick. The biggest, the whole thing is an ick. But one thing I hated where she was like, yeah, I know you. You haven't showered because you have a mustard stain on your shirt.
Oh, yeah. You wore that yesterday.
That was weird. That was a weird part of the conversation. But also, if someone came up to me and they had a huge ass stain on their shirt, I don't know. I'm not going to take that shit seriously. It happens. I get it happens. But he's already, like, talking about my boobs and talking about, like, my underwear. And he has a mustard stain on his shirt.
Like, and then also, he's, like, overly confident. Like, it's too much, bro. Mm-hmm. Like, in this conversation, he's just like, I could tell with that one simple movement that you were really insecure. You know, the fact that she was trying to hide her face. Yeah. And I realized, since you obviously had no idea how fucking beautiful you were, that I just might actually have a chance with you. And so I smiled because I was hoping if I played my cards right, I might get to find out exactly what kind of panties you were wearing under those jeans. What the actual fuck? I'm sorry. I might actually have a chance with you? Who's going to be flattered by that?
It feels very like nice guys finish last.
Yeah.
Type shit.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Wait.
I got three things in my mind.
I'm a knight. And I can only fit three things. That's it.
Fuck. What am I supposed to do?
So this book balances between Ben's perspective and Fallon's perspective.
They're immediately.
They're
immediately. Okay, first of all. First 1,000 pages of the book done. They're finally out of the fucking restaurant. Thank fucking God. And guess what? The book's even longer than that. So they go to her apartment. She has a roommate. Roommate sees her walk in. Dude, it's so cringe when they're just kind of like, oh, here's my boyfriend. And then her roommate's like, you had a boyfriend? It's like, yeah, we've been dating for 1 hour. Isn't that funny? Yeah. You know, as your boyfriend of 2 hours, I expect you to know that about me. It's like, ew. Shut that shit up, okay? I didn't ask you to help me with my dad. I had it.
Yeah.
Round 2, he would have been decimated. He wouldn't be here.
Yeah. But you actually ruined that moment for me. So thanks for nothing.
But I hated that he always did that. Like, oh, as your 2-hour boyfriend, I expect you to know that about me.
It's definitely an ick. But then, so they're at her place now.
Mm-hmm.
How did you feel about those moments where she would be like quirky and she'd be like, oh my God, my TBR pile, I know it's so big, and he was like, TBR pile, what is that? She's like, to be read. It almost felt like she was trying to teach me something. Bitch, I know what a TBR pile is.
But also, I don't like it. Okay, if you've ever read Emily Henry's Book Lovers, shout out, that book is so good.
Mm-hmm.
That was an acceptable write a romance about books book.
Okay.
To me, this is cringe. This is so cringe. Because doesn't it kind of feel like this is the same thing I said in one of our past episodes. This book is written at such a low level. It feels like she's just trying to grasp at, like, maybe my readers are people that really like books, so they're really going to relate to this. Yeah. And they're really going to be able to be her, and maybe one day they can meet their Ben. Doesn't it feel like that?
If I'm only so lucky. If I'm only fingers fucking crossed.
It feels like that.
Yeah.
They make the main characters in all Colleen Hoover books so plain so you could fit.
They kind of just, you know? Like, don't they all kind of just blend together?
Yeah, they do.
Like, all of them kind of are the same girl.
Yeah, they are. And I fucking hate that shit.
I hate that shit
So,
too.
like, she, she talks about her fucking books, and it drives me fucking insane because he's a writer, right?
Yes. So she finds out that
I do not know what a TBR pile is.
Well, because I know, literally. So Ben is a writer, and he really, really wants to write something that'll break him out as a writer. Let me say that again. He really wants to write something that'll just like break him out as a writer, right?
Good for him.
And so he notices that our girl Fallon has a lot of romance, and he's like, "Oh my God, romance! I'm sorry, you read a lot of romance. It's embarrassing." You read this shit? And he's like, "That's not really up my alley because I'm just cooler than that, you know?" And she's like, "No, what are you talking about? No, but romance is so good." And so he kind of takes this as like a, "Oh my God, well, I'll think about it. I'll like put it here in my noggin and I'll think about it later." That she just loves romance so much.
You know, I really hate the fact that his charm is working on her.
Me too. Wait, can I?
Yeah, go ahead. Be strong.
Okay. I don't like it. I don't like this part because he's over here like, oh my God, what do I have business writing romance? I'm only 18. And she says, you've never been in love before? And he says, of course I have, but not the kind worthy of a romance novel. So I have no business writing it. And then she says, do you think Stephen King was actually murdered by a clown in real life? Did Shakespeare really down a vial of poison? Of course not, man. It's called fiction for a reason. You make that shit up.
I want to leave. I don't want to feel. I think this podcast is done. This is our last episode because I can't stand this shit. Because how is this shit fucking New York's bestseller?
I don't understand.
I can't.
Because it's so easy to read. It's so easy to just digest this shit.
So he comes up with a brilliant idea. He's like, me, an author. I'm going
a future author.
Author. With those two things in mind. He's like, two things in mind. I am going to write about our love story. Mm-hmm. About us falling in love. Mm-hmm. Because she brings up, because he's very like, okay, so should we start dating? Mm-hmm. And she was like, nah, because
I'm going to New York.
I'm going to New York, and anyway, like, I don't want to get married till I'm like 23.
Yeah, because that was her mom's advice to her, right? Like, don't get married until you're 23. That's when you really are like grown.
23, me? No.
Same.
So he's like, but I want this to continue. So what if, I don't want to lose the magic. Mm-hmm. What if every November 9th we meet and we spend the day together? Mm-hmm. Just November 9th. Uh-huh. And then when you turn 23, if this shit's real, then babe,
you and me, we're getting hitched.
Oh my gosh. And she's like, it's crazy. It's crazy, babe. But I'm down.
How? Okay. Yes, that's exactly what happens. But how did you feel that... How did you feel about the fact that they were going to go on a date on this November 9th? The first November 9th. And he's like looking through her closet and he's just like, ugh, conservative. Ooh, there's this sexy black dress here. And he's like, wear it for me, babe. And she's super self-conscious because it's very revealing. Mm-hmm. And she's like, no, I can't wear that. And he's like, you know what? You're the one that makes your scars an issue.
And then
they wouldn't be an issue if you weren't so embarrassed by them.
And ever since I met Ben, that was the meanest thing he's ever said to me. I can't believe we're having our first fight.
Yeah. But no, but then she puts on the dress.
No, I know. She thinks that. But then she changes in front of him, right?
Well, it's like...
And he, like, worships her body.
He, like, forces her to change into this dress. And he's just, like, obsessed with her scars. He's just like, damn, look at them. Sexy.
Yeah. And then...
Oh, see? It's your own fault people feel uncomfortable looking at you.
And then, even better, because Colleen, she just doesn't stop. He walks out of the room, and then he goes like, her panties are red. They're red, bitch.
Well, yeah, but this was after the whole, like...
They fell asleep.
Yeah, they fell asleep. And then, I wrote consent, because he just, like, fucking starts undressing her. Like, hello?
Yeah. Yeah, they're not a good couple.
No, not at all. I mean, they're 18, but also Ben's a fucking creep. Yeah. Anyway, and then this is basically the end of their first November 9th. Oh, no, he ends up driving her to the airport. He's like, I'm going to do that thing that romance movies love to do. And he's like, starts running into the airport. Fallon. No, I love you. What does he say? I miss you or whatever.
Fallon.
So yeah, there she goes to New York.
I can't. Dude, okay, I'll be honest with you. Reading this book, I was invested at this point. I was like, okay, that's a cute premise. Meeting every November 9th. Oh, because she also brings up, after she goes, is like, little does he know November 9th has a big meaning to me because that was the day these scars happened. Yeah. So I'm
2 years ago.
Yeah.
She suffered that burning.
Yeah.
Because her dad's house caught fire.
So she's interested to see if he could be a reason for her to finally look forward to that day.
Yes. But can I also just read something?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I feel like I have to read it to just so the weight is there, you know?
Yeah.
This is Ben's perspective.
Okay.
I suddenly feel grateful for her scars because they're a reminder of how it could have been much worse. She could have died in that fire, and she wouldn't be next to me right now. I run my hand down her shoulder, down the length of her arm, and back up again. When my eyes meet hers, there's evidence of a tear that just trailed down her cheek. One of the things I always try to remind myself is that everyone has scars, she says. A lot of them even worse than mine. The only difference is that mine are visible and most people's aren't. I don't tell her that she's right. I don't tell her that as beautiful as she looks on the outside, I only wish I could look like that on the inside.
Dude.
I just want to say, I feel like if Ben wasn't such a fucking creep, maybe this could have worked. You know?
Yeah.
Like, he's fetishizing her scars.
Yeah, he is.
Like, her burns. Like, he needs to calm down.
Yeah.
Dude, calm down.
Had he been different,
Yeah.
it wouldn't have been so bad.
Yeah.
But you know Colleen.
Yeah. Coho.
So, first November 9th, they're 19.
They're 18.
They were 17 when they met?
No, they were 18.
2nd November 9th, they're 19.
Mm-hmm.
They meet up. Where do they meet up? At the restaurant.
They were supposed to meet up at the restaurant, right? Mm-hmm. But then Ben's there. No, she's there. Who's there? One of them is there, and then somebody calls on the phone, and he's like, "Sorry, I'm running late. I'll be right there. I swear." Who was it? Do you remember?
It was Ben who was running late because he wanted to make a grand entrance, right?
No, she was running late because it says, "Is your name Ben?" And she's like, "Yes, I'm Ben. I work down the street. Some girl is on the phone here and says it's an emergency."
Yeah. Because they don't have each other's numbers. They blocked each other on everything.
Yeah.
Which is so fucking stupid, by the way.
It's so stupid because she literally was like, "No, if we follow each other on social media, then we're going to get like too wrapped up in this idea of your book. We need to make it authentic."
Yeah.
And so, okay, they meet up.
And they're both kind of wowed at the fact that it feels like no time has passed.
Yeah, which was weird.
Yeah.
Oh, because they set rules for each other. Remember he told her, you need to kiss 5 boys. She only kissed 1, and he was very disappointed in her.
But then he was also like, how dare you? No, he doesn't really say it like that, but he gets like jealous. Like, that's my Fallon.
Yeah, you kissed someone?
How fucking dare you? You told me to do that, bitch. Like, what do you expect? And then I think they end up back at his house, and that's where she meets his family. So she meets his sister, almost sister-in-law, who's currently having a crisis. I think her name is Jordan.
Yeah.
So many names are the same in these books.
I know.
And Jordan is like, I don't fucking get married. This shit's so stressful. Oh my God. I'm getting married to this guy's brother, to Ben's brother. Love that man, but hate this shit. Mm-hmm. And then there's like a moment where Ben's brother comes out, and then Ben is like, Fallon, you gotta wait here, babe, okay? And then they go to the hall to talk, and Ben's brother punches him.
He like pushes him up against the wall, and so they're having like this whole thing. He might have punched him, I don't remember. And then Fallon like notices that they're fighting, and she's just super confused, like what's going on. Mm-hmm.
But then it's kind of dropped, right?
Yeah, and because Ben's like, brothers, am I right? But Kyle, his brother, was supposed to marry Jordan like the next day, and so that's why Jordan was like fucking stressed also. Can I also bring up so that she mentions that guy that she kissed, and she mentions like, oh yeah, we went on a couple dates, whatever, and then Ben asks her like, what happened, like why did it end? And she was like, oh, it's because he didn't really want to see me, you know, he didn't want to see all this. It almost was like he was hesitant when things were getting a little, you know, a little sexy for them. And then Ben is like trying to see her naked because she like says that her left breast is really scarred. And Ben's like, let me see.
Yeah, can I? No, I can't get into this story unless you show me.
I know. And she's like, wait, what? You're writing about my scars? And he's like, yeah, of course I am. And she's like kind of offended by it because she's like, why would you write about my scars?
Yeah. I hate that he's an author.
I know.
I really hate that he's an author.
And then I hate the way that he like, I don't know. Like, to me, the way that he is, I feel like I know the type of guy Ben is, and I fucking hate it. Because he's literally like, he says this to her. He says, because you survived when a lot of people don't get that lucky. So from now on, when you think about your scars, you aren't allowed to resent them. You're going to embrace them because you're lucky to be on this earth to see them. And any guy you allow to touch your scars better thank you for that privilege. Man, you don't give a fuck about this girl.
No.
You don't give a fuck about her.
It gets worse.
It does get worse.
It gets so much worse. But,
and then again, no fucking consent. Like, literally, this man just starts undressing her.
Yeah, but she's down.
Yeah.
And I hate that she's down because then she doesn't like it at the moment. And then she, like, tells herself afterwards, like, only Ben can do that to me. Only Ben can make me feel that way. It's so unhealthy for her to think like that. But by the way, she's doing okay in New York. She's getting little roles.
Mm-hmm. She's just a lot of, like, tryouts.
Yep.
Or what are they called? Is that what they're called? Tryouts?
Auditions.
Yeah. I'm thinking of fucking sports.
Thank you. So that ends, and we go to our third year. Mm-hmm. And in this third year, he's supposed to go visit her. Mm-hmm. They're 20 now, by the way. And she was like, oh my God, I'm so excited for him to come because, you know, he's an author. And he told me that he really likes this one author. And they're having an exhibition for him because apparently the author that he likes died on November 9th.
Dylan Thomas.
Yeah.
Isn't he a poet?
I think so. Mm. So, I want to take him to this and I want him to get to see everywhere I go in New York. We can be like tourists because, like, even though I live in New York, I haven't really seen everything.
Yeah.
And so she's in the diner where they promised they would meet and get
same thing happens
where, like, the waiter comes. It's like, hey, are you Fallon? There's a phone call for you. Mm-hmm. And he's just kind of like, hey.
Ben says this.
He's like, hey, my things aren't okay. Like, I'm not going to make it. Mm-hmm. And she was like, well, what's happening? It's like, my brother
Kyle. Well, he says he was in a wreck 2 days ago. And she was like, oh my God, is he okay? He says, no, he didn't make it.
Dude, this made me cry.
You cry?
I'll be honest with you. I get real sad about this type of shit. Mm-hmm. So I did cry because he was very much, because in his perspective, it was said, like, I wasn't crying. Like, everyone who I've talked to today, I have been the stronger one. I have not cried. Mm-hmm. But as soon as I talked to her, I was a mess. And he's been having to deal with a lot of people going up to him. And it sucks because it's like, after someone dies, you do have to just move on. So it's like, hey, I know he's your brother, but, like, are you going to sell his real estate? Yeah. Like, are you going to do all this shit?
Like, what are you going to do with the house? And then also they're already, like, saying, like, oh, I'm sure Jordan, which is the wife, will move back to Nevada with her mother. Are you just going to be here by yourself? Like, what are you going to do? And then Jordan and Kyle had a child together. Mm-hmm. You know, it's a baby. Like, I think it's a newborn. I don't know. I don't remember how old this baby is, but it's pretty newborn.
Yep.
And so Ben's over here trying to take care of shit, and then Jordan shows up.
Fallon
shows up.
And Fallon's like, I know you probably don't want me here,
but bitch, I'm gonna be here because you know what? We made a commitment. We said every November 9th.
So wipe those tears, bitch. It's my day today. And then Ben hugs her and is like, of course I want you here, bitch. Mm-hmm. Of course I want you here, babe. And then go into his room and this is the time when they mm-hmm. Right? It is?
Yeah.
They make love. How did you feel?
Disgusted.
I don't think Coho knows how to write spicy.
I don't either. Especially with the lack of consent.
Yeah. It was weird to read. And it was just over as soon as it started. And her explaining this feeling of, like,
I've always loved you.
Yeah.
It's always been you. I didn't even have time to think of anybody else because it's always been you.
Oh, you know what I hated?
What?
I think he says it at this part, or he says it the next day. No, I don't remember. They go to sleep and then they wake up. But he goes like, after reading your TBR, and those guys in the book that are always like, you're mine. I never understood why they said that during sex, but now I do.
He's like, I wanted to say it, but I held
babe,
back
I
the
was
beast.
so close. It was literally, it was right there, babe. It was.
Uh-huh. And then also he says, I want your phone number before you leave in the morning. And she's like, you can have it. I want you to have it. My email. I'll buy you an all-in-one printer with a fax machine so I can give you that number too. I was like, baby, you already made this.
So hot.
You have already made this the best sex I've ever had, and I'm not even inside you yet. Oh, this was before. And it's like, what are you waiting for? Anyways, whatever. Who cares?
And then afterwards, after they have sex, it's like, I don't even care about my fucking book.
Fuck the book.
Fuck the book. It's like, okay, bitch, shred it. Whoa. Don't get crazy, Fallon. I'm gonna shred my work.
She says, what about the book? We're supposed to meet up 3 more times. Don't you want to finish it? He thinks about it. He's like, no, not if it means we can't be together. And she's serious. He actually wants to move to New York, and I want him there more than anything. But then she overhears that Jordan's crying to Ben.
Yeah.
Jordan's like, I don't want to go to Nevada. I want to be here with these bitches. The family. And so Fallon, being the martyr that she is, she's just like, you know what? Wipe those tears, Ben. See you next year.
And then Ben's like, okay, she's leaving, so pretend to leave. Like, no, I love you, and you're my everything. So unless you tell me that what you said wasn't true, I'm going to always fight for you, bitch. And Fallon's just like, what do I do?
What do I do in this situation? I'm in a
hardest situation I've ever been in. So what do I fucking do? And then she is just like, sorry, now I'm her. And then she's like, no, Ben.
Oh.
Go back inside.
Go back to your family.
And she leaves.
She fucking leaves. Oh my God. How are you feeling? Dude, Were you stressed?
First of all, I understood why she left. Totally makes sense. And in my mind, when a year passes, because she was so nervous to see him again, I was under the impression that he would understand and he would probably go like, I needed that. I'm sorry. We're young.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
My family needed me.
Yeah.
So I get it.
But instead he comes. And he's like, oh my gosh, Fallon. And then fucking baby on his chest.
Oliver.
Right? Oliver. And he's like, oh my gosh, Fallon, hey, wait, hold on. Ollie! Sorry.
Ollie!
Woo! You're fucking juggling.
So he has that little, little sling.
Yeah.
Whatever it's called. I don't even know. Oh.
Baby holder. Yeah.
Baby swing on him. The baby is strapped to him, okay? And he shows up. He's like, girl, I didn't know you were going to come. I wasn't sure.
I hate that her first thought, though, is just kind of like, wow, dad suits him.
Yeah, really it's weird. But then Ben fucks up and he's just like, yeah, he's very fussy at night. We sometimes turn off the baby monitor. And she's like,
we?
her fucking world gets turned upside down with the we.
It's so stupid, too, because she leaves, of course, angry. And he comes in and he's like,
wait.
Babe. Ava, I wanted to tell you, it's just after Kyle's passing, rest in paradise, King, Jordan and I just, we found comfort in each other. What am I supposed to do?
You ever lose somebody and find comfort in their partner?
You ever go through something traumatic? Don't answer that.
He's like, you know what? Never mind. You beat me.
But the worst part of this, because fucking Fallon is crying like, oh my God, I can't believe this. And then Ben is like, well, it's kind of your fault.
Yeah. He literally blames her. He's like, I told you if you love me, and you didn't say that you loved me. And so I thought we were done.
Yeah, I didn't think you didn't have feelings for me. No, how do you say it? I didn't think that you were lying to me. I thought you were telling the truth when you said no. I thought it meant nothing to you. And it's like, Ben, are you a fucking idiot?
Yes.
Your shit was being rocked at that moment. And you wanted to go move to New York when your family needed you there.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, I guess I just never really thought about it.
I just didn't see it in your perspective.
Wait, hold on. Jordan.
It's like, Jordan, move out of the room, bitch.
I know.
I'm keeping the master bedroom.
And the baby.
I fucking can't. Because he literally, oh my God, I fucking can't.
It makes me mad because
I can't stand Ben. I literally can't.
Okay, this was my first, like, huge negative for Ben. I hated him throughout the whole thing. But this was my huge one. It was like, you like this girl and this is what you do?
You literally, I don't understand. I know it happens, which is so fucking weird that it's, like, common enough, you know?
Yeah.
Where you lose somebody and you just start dating their sibling. That's weird to me. How are you going to explain this to Oliver when he's older?
Your dad?
That's always been your dad. Wait,
Yeah.
Kyle? No, don't pay attention to that. He's not even real.
So then Fallon is like, never fucking talk to me again. Get these things out of your mind. Your boobs. Get these two things out of your mind.
Both of them, okay?
Both? Even the left one? So then that's the end of their 20th, November 9th. Age 20, November 9th.
Well, yeah. Well, I was just going to say, she was really heartbroken by this.
Yeah.
And he was just fucking clueless.
Oh. And it doesn't help that her big reveal to him was that she moved to California. Mm-hmm. So she was in California now. And then he's like...
Because he's like, wait, did you drive here? Do you live here?
No, because it was like, no, babe, Fallon, don't tell me you moved for me.
Don't tell me.
Don't
Did
tell
you
me.
give up
Don't tell me you
New
moved
York
for me?
for me?
I didn't tell you, bitch. Now I want to be this.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And yeah, whatever. That ends. So she's now living in California to be closer to her mom and also to work as whatever the fuck she's doing. And the next November 9th rolls around and she's 21 now. And she's at... Is this the one where she goes on the date?
I think she's at the club. No, it's like a club.
Yeah, and there's a guy there, and
Theodore.
she's with her roommate.
Theodore. Her roommate. What's her name?
Whatever her name is.
Amber.
So Amber is like, it's just a day. It's whatever. Don't even fucking think about that creep. He's weird.
You guys only knew each other for 3 days.
Yeah,
you
it's
can't
not even
count.
that big of a deal.
You can't count the whole year when you only interacted once a year. That's literally what it says.
Yep.
And I wrote, period.
And so then they're at this club, and and then a fucking stranger pops up while Theodore and fucking Fallon are just talking, whatever.
Well, they're dating. They're not like dating seriously, but they've been on a couple dates.
Yeah, and then fucking Ben pops up. He's like, hey, besties. You don't know me, but my name's Ben. Really nice to meet you. What's your name? Theodore? Fucking sucks. That's an ugly ass name. What's your name?
Don't you remember that he like...
What's your name? I know.
Don't you remember that he like slid into their booth? It was just her and Theodore,
Yes,
and he was
yes.
like, "So how did you guys meet?" Oh, sorry, I'm doing a paper on love. How did you guys meet?
Soulmates.
Whatever. How did you guys meet? And he was like, who cares? I don't remember honestly.
But then it's like, oh, but do you love her? Do you expect to stay with her? And he's like, yeah, I guess. Maybe. And then he's like, interesting. Okay. And then he walks away, and I think Fallon follows him, or it's the other way around. But they both end up in the bathroom, and then it's just like, Fallon. After that day, November 9th, do you remember the day? You hate it. That's a joke. So it was like after that day, I went home, and I was like, Jordan. We're Jordan.
I was going to say that. Oh, my God.
So and then Jordan was like, all right, bet.
She was like, chill.
we both were just finding comfort in each other after Kyle's death. You know, I'm still very much a part of Oliver's life, but I'm no longer with Jordan because it's you I want.
It's always been you.
It's always been you. And I hate how quick she was like, Beba. Wait, Beba. And then they kiss again. And it's like a really heated kiss. And she goes back out there and she's like, see ya, Theodore. Have fun.
Don't you remember that they literally were messing around with each other in the bathroom while Theodore was outside waiting for her? That was so fucked up.
It's taken forever.
But the reason that Ben knew where Fallon was because he kept in contact with Amber's boyfriend, which was Glenn. And Glenn told him where they were going to be at. Because the whole time I was like, how the fuck did he find her?
Yeah. That's weird.
But then, so now they're like together, right? Let me just read this to you.
Okay,
It says, I love you, Fallon. More than poetry, more than words, more than music, more than your boobs. Both of them. Do you have any idea how much that amounts to? Are you fucking kidding me?
I would leave.
Are you fucking kidding me? Why does he always talk about her boobs?
That's so cringy.
I feel like, okay, is this controversial? I don't know. I feel like sometimes when writers write men, they write them too gross, you know? And it's like, I'm supposed to be like, yeah, because that's a man. No.
I hate that. I hate that he said that shit.
Yeah.
So they go home, make sweet love, and then she's like, I'm going to wake up November 10th, and I'm going to still be next to this man. But it's still November 9th. She wakes up, and she finds his manuscript for November 9th.
In the kitchen. It's like in the kitchen, right?
Is there 20, right? 21?
I think they're 21 now.
Okay. And she's like, I'm just going to take a little peek. I want to see what it's about.
Oh my God. Did you have any idea what this book was about?
No.
Okay. So she reads it.
Yeah.
And let me just read you the snippet.
Okay.
That was the twist, right?
Okay.
So the manuscript is basically about Ben's life. And so she's reading about Ben's life, and it talks about that scene with Ben and Kyle and why they were fighting. And it says, does she know Ben? Does she have any idea that you're the one who started that fire? That you're the reason she almost died? I feel my jaw tighten. He can't do this. Not today. Not to her. Shut up, I say through clenched teeth. Please. She's in the other room, for Christ's sake. I try to push him off me, but he shoves his arm against my throat. What kind of fucked up situation did you get yourself into, Ben? Are you an idiot? And that's when she drops the manuscript, Fallon. And she's just like, what the actual fuck did I just read?
This man's a fucking weirdo.
Yeah.
He's a psycho.
Psychopath.
And he walks out of the room. He's like, Beba. And sees her holding the manuscript. And he's like, oh my God, Fallon. Let me explain.
Yeah.
And she just like doesn't want to hear it and leaves.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Well, yeah, basically. Because she reads a little bit more. But he like, when he sees her, she's thinking to herself like, wait, is this fiction? I don't know if this is fiction.
Oh, I kind of thought the same thing too.
Really?
When I read it, I was under the impression that this was one of those shits like, because he was so into this book being a success. I'm like, is he just being gross about this and kind of inserting himself to make this the best romance book he's ever written?
Yeah, so that everyone will be like shocked.
Mm-hmm.
And then he kind of like begs her. He like starts crying and shit. He's like, please, Fallon. I'm so sorry. And he's like crying and shit.
Yeah. That makes it even weirder that he was so into her scars.
Yeah. And then basically, I mean, she leaves. And then at the end it says, oh, wait, is this the part where she like gets into the cab? The window is down. He throws the manuscript in and she fucking throws it out. That was so funny. Because she just does not want to read anything else. And then at the end of that, it says, it took 4 years for me to fall in love with him. It only took 4 pages to stop.
Wow.
Mic fucking drop.
Oh my God. I bet you she wrote that line first and was like, how do I come up with the story? Like, what do I do?
Mm.
Oh my gosh. So 22 years old, right?
Uh-huh. He writes her a letter and he's like, girl, I'm sorry.
Well, first of all, she's in her apartment and she's like avoiding leaving or talking to anyone on November 9th. So she's like, if I just sleep the day away, I'm good.
It doesn't exist.
So she tries to, but then she hears a knock. And dude, that fucking scared me. I was like, he's a crazy bitch. That's what's happening. That's literally what's happening. He's going to break into her house and like try something. But no, there's a box at her door and it's really, really heavy. It has a letter on top and it's just like, no name, but you can tell who it's from. And he writes like, I know you'll never forgive me, but I hope that you can like read this, basically.
Yeah, and he's like, this is the only copy. I don't have a copy. You own the only manuscript of my story, pretty much. But Fallon's like, I don't give a fuck about your story. Like, I don't want to read this shit.
Yeah. Oh, but he also writes like, after you read my story, I'll still be waiting in our place.
Yeah. On November 9th.
Don't forget, that's the name of my book. So she
I don't
doesn't.
think it is called November 9th, is it?
Yeah.
No,
So,
it's called Ben something.
Ew, why do you name it after himself? Okay, but she doesn't read it and she goes to her room and falls asleep. Wakes up, her mom's there, and her mom is crying and she's like, Mama, what the fuck is up?
Or maybe it is, because it says Ben's novel,
Chapter 1,
November 9th.
But
oh my god, this part pissed me off. Okay, basically because Fallon goes to sleep. She's like, I'm going to bed. Bye.
yeah, fuck this bitch.
And then she comes downstairs. Mom is there. She's looking at the manuscript, fucking 120 pages in deep, crying over this shit. And she's just like, you better forgive that bitch. This sweet boy.
Never done anything wrong, ever.
Ever.
Maybe just one.
We all make mistakes. It's fine. He also tells her the same. She also tells her the same shit where it's like, those scars made you stronger.
Yeah, and then she says it like that, right? Like, if I've ever taught you one thing as a mother, I would hope it's that. Like, these scars make you stronger and whatever. And I'm just like, shut the fuck up.
I said it mostly as a joke, but I believe that.
Yeah, and then I hated when her mom walked out and she was like, I wasn't going to read it, but I have to listen to my mom.
Yeah, my mom said to read it, so I'm going to read it.
Hello. Dude, I was so over it.
I was pissed. I was so annoyed. I hate when like an outside character, like, you know what what I mean?
Propels the story forward.
No, but like what the, like, who is the mom to be like,
I thought she was dead. I'll be honest. I thought the mom was dead. That's why she wasn't there.
No, because she would mention like, oh, I came to live back to LA because my mom lives here. Don't make it weird.
Never really talked.
Anyway, so what do we find out through this manuscript, Cheli? Please let us know.
Ben, when he was 16, his mom unalived herself and he found the body. He couldn't find an unalived note, but he knew there was one. So, like, he did his own, like, search and he found something that had Clyde O'Donovan's name on it. And he was like, that's his name, right?
Donovan O'Neill.
Oh my gosh. And he found something that had Donovan O'Neill's name on it. And he put 2 and 2 together, even though it was 2 and 1. He did that shit did not make sense. But he was like, oh my gosh.
That bitch broke her heart.
I'm gonna go find this bitch.
That B-list actor? Ugh.
So he goes over to the O'Neill's house and he sees Donovan smoking, I think. And he's just like, that bitch, look at him. He probably doesn't even care that my mom is dead. He probably doesn't even, whatever the fuck. And he sees Donovan drop his cigarette. And then he just has this urge to like, well, what if I just fucking started a fire? And so he starts one and he just leaves.
Yeah.
He doesn't even see the repercussions of his actions until he sees the news where it's like, oh, famous actor goes through this. His daughter was in it and was hurt. And then he's like, I hurt someone?
Yeah. Well, I don't know why he assumed that Donovan didn't have anybody in that house. But I do remember that Ben goes home and he confides in Kyle. And he's like, Kyle, you'll never believe what the fuck I just did. It was crazy, bro. And then Kyle literally is like, wait, didn't they tell you about the S note? And he pulls it out. And in this note, the mom literally says the reason why the mom took herself out was because she had cancer. And it was, at a point where there was no like way for her to get better.
Yeah. She didn't want her sons to see her go through that. So she decided
Best thing
to end it. But then she mentioned her whole thing, which we didn't talk about, how she loved her husband or whatever. And she had gotten a tattoo that said poetry because it was something that he loved or whatever.
She got the tattoo because it was supposed to symbolize when she knew that she was in love with this man. And so, yeah, she got like this thing that said poetry on her wrist. But really, she was like, the tattoo was more so for me because that's when I knew that I had fallen in love with somebody. And she really loved her husband, but her husband passed away. And I can't remember how he passed away.
Yeah, I can't remember either.
But yeah, like the note was crazy to me. I don't know how you felt about it, but I just can't wrap my head around how this woman literally knew that her 16-year-old son was going to find her in her room and then just be like, you know what? Better him to see me this way than to just be killed by cancer.
Because then if he had walked in and found that note that she had left, what did she expect was going to happen? Was he just going to be like, oh, okay.
Oh, no, I get it. I forgive you, Mom.
No, it's fine.
It's chill. This part was so, it's just like sad.
Yeah.
It's just like,
but
if she's supposed to be a good mother, and she was obviously, well, like sane enough, I guess, would be the way for me to say it, to write a note, but you're not well enough to understand why this is the worst thing you could do to your children.
Real quick, the second November 9th that they spend together, Fallon and Ben, doesn't Ben get a tattoo that says poetry? It's kind of like...
He gets a tattoo, but it's not poetry. It's something else. Something that symbolizes them. I can't remember what it is.
Yeah, but it was like, wow, he was in love super early.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
That's why he did it.
He's been in
love. So then we are out of this, her reading the manuscript. She reads it for hours. It's almost November 10th. Like, it's pretty late. Mm-hmm. And she's like, oh my God, what am I doing? I have somewhere to be.
Yeah.
Somewhere to be. So she runs out.
Oh, but don't forget, she's literally thinking to herself, like, you know what? Ben's been through a lot.
Not yet, though.
No, because right when she finished the manuscript, she was like, not trying to excuse him, but she was like thinking to herself, he's been through a lot.
Yes. So then Ben is waiting. He's been waiting for hours. And then, like, even the waiter is, like, pitying him because it's like, damn, you hella got stood up.
Yeah.
And so he leaves. He's in the parking lot for a bit, ready to go. And he sees Fallon. But what does she say? Did you highlight that part?
What did she say?
Because I fucking hate that. This is the part that I told you because I texted you when I finished it. I thought about this book. I was so angry.
Oh, what?
With what she said.
What did she say?
He goes, I can't remember it word for word, but he basically goes like, I never knew you would have it in your heart to forgive me.
I didn't come here to forgive you. Was that the part?
Yeah. I didn't come to forgive you. Yeah, go down.
Down?
And then.
This is what she says.
You were 16, she says. You had been through one of the worst experiences, or the worst things a child could ever experience. Your actions from that night weren't because you were a bad person, Ben. It was because you were scared. A scared teenage boy, and sometimes people make mistakes. You carried so much guilt for what you did and for so long. You can't ask for my forgiveness because there's nothing to forgive. If anything, I'm here for your forgiveness. Because I know your heart, Ben, and your heart is only capable of love. I should have recognized that last year when I doubted you. I should have given you the chance to explain it then. If I had just listened to you, then we would have avoided the entire year of heartache. So for that, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. And I hope you can forgive me.
What the actual fuck?
What do you mean he didn't do anything wrong?
He literally caused a fire that almost took you out.
And I hate that her having this whole ass fucking speech just for him to be the good guy at the end of this and go like, you're not allowed to apologize to me, Fallon. No. And she's like, fine, I apologize, or I forgive myself.
For what? I am so confused.
What the fuck was that ending?
That's so fucking stupid.
And it ends with saying, but I'll still come home with you, she says. Good, I tell her. Tonight you're mine. I'll just wait to cook you breakfast until the day after tomorrow. And every day after that until the next November 9th when I get down on one knee and give you the most book-worthy marriage proposal in history. She slaps me in the chest. That was a huge spoiler, Ben. Did you not learn about spoiler alerts during your reading binge? I grin as I lower my mouth to hers. Spoiler alert. They lived happily ever after. And then I kiss her. And it's a 12. Not the end. Far from it. What does it mean by it's a 12?
Because they would have this thing where from the beginning they would talk about romance novels, and they would talk about how the first kiss always had to be like a 10 out of 10 kiss.
Oh.
So he's rating their first kiss basically.
Oh,
I just fucking hate. What? Like, what did I just read? I'm so confused. I don't understand how I'm supposed to love Ben when he's literally a piece of shit. I don't care if he's crying right now.
You know, I'm a little disappointed. I'm a little disappointed with that ending because when I first read it, I read it really quick and I thought it said, and the clock struck 12. And I would have liked that better because it's like, oh, it's November 10th now.
Oh, that makes sense. See, that's better. I would have liked that better too.
Because that's stupid. And I hate that. And I hate the way it makes me feel.
And then also, don't you just love, okay, because that whole thing of, oh, I'm going to cook you breakfast tomorrow, or no, the day after tomorrow. Well, the next day after that, November 10th, she's going to have breakfast with her dad because she's over here like, you know what? Her third eye is open. She's just like, Ben didn't mean to start the fire. My dad he was grieving. Oh, that's why the dad was negligent, because he found out that the Ben's mom passed away. And so she was over here thinking like, oh, my dad just forgot about me. Yeah. And then she was thinking, no, he was grieving. And so now all of a sudden the narrative has changed. And now the dad is not that bad of a guy, because she texted him like, hey, Dad, let's get brekkie tomorrow. And he said, yes. Anywhere you want me, I'll be there. Wait, what?
Better. Everything's better ever since Ben's been in her life.
That doesn't make sense, because literally she made it seem like he was the flakiest man alive.
Yeah. But it's a Colleen Hoover book.
My head hurts.
Dude, I don't.
For real.
I hope. Was this the last Colleen Hoover book we ever talked about?
No, we have Ugly Love.
Oh. When will it end?
Never. I feel like, okay. Can I just say a controversial opinion?
Nothing's controversial.
Well, after I finished this book, the day after I went to work, I go into work, I see my coworker, and I'm like, sit down, bitch. I'm going to tell you this whole fucking book right now. And I love her because she reads also. And we've done this thing where we've gone on like Google and we'll like read a whole like book spoiler thing. Like we did that for No, I think it was It Starts With Us. It Ends With Us. I can't remember which book we did. Oh, Reminders of Him. I don't remember, because honestly, I didn't care to memorize the book. Yeah. But we were like, oh my God, I can't believe that happens in that book. Anyway, so she knows about Colleen Hoover. She's aware, because we've looked into spoilers for some books of hers. And so I sat her down and I was like, I'm going to tell you this whole fucking story. And me over here thinking like, man, this book sucks. And over here, she's over here eating it up, because she's just like, oh my God, I love the drama. Keep going. She's just like, what happens next?
That's so funny.
And I was like, you know what? I feel like if these books were not marketed as romance, they would be more enjoyable to me.
Yeah.
Because now if we were more in the thriller territory, okay, fine, cool. It's meant to be weird, you know?
Yeah, I guess I could agree with that, because that I've had books where I feel similar to that, where I fucking hate them, and then when I explain it, it's like, oh my God, I know all the lore, I know everything. I think I would agree with that, but it's just the fact that she's marketed as a romance.
Yeah, if she wasn't marketed as a romance, I think I could enjoy her books a little bit more. But guess what? I didn't spoil the whole thing to my coworker. I stopped right before. Okay, I told her the manuscript. No, I didn't tell her the manuscript. I stopped before the manuscript. And I was like, go read it, bitch. I'm not going to spoil the ending to you. She bought the book the day after. And she read the book. You're welcome, Colleen Hoover. Don't say I never did anything for you. Dude, she ate that shit up. She was just like, oh my God, the book. She finished it in one day. And she's one of those people. She's one of those people where she like takes like, she takes like days to finish a book. Longer than that, months even.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you remember that when you told me that one time that somebody you know will read a book before going to bed, but they'll read like a page and be like, damn, I'm done.
Yeah.
Like, that's literally her. But she finished it super fast. And then I just loved like talking about it with her. Because then we were both just like, man, that was fucking crazy. And then I was like, well, did you like it though? And she was like, not really. But I mean, it's fun to talk about.
Are you telling me you like this book?
No.
Okay.
No, not at all.
I get what you mean. I totally get what you mean because I think, like I said, Colleen Hoover books are just easy to talk about.
Yeah.
You know, and they're also ridiculous.
Yeah.
And super over dramatic for no reason.
Yeah, like it'll just be like this like weird story. Not weird, I shouldn't say weird. It'll just be like this simple story. And then all of a sudden you throw in this like super depressing thing. The most depressing shit that someone could go through. Yeah. You know what? They get over it. They conquer.
Love always wins. Love's
yeah.
always on top.
Yeah.
I gave this a 1. But had Goodreads let me, I would have given it a 0.
Yeah.
I really hated that stupid I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. Don't ever apologize to me.
I forgive myself.
I fucking hated that too. So tell me a little bit more. How are you feeling after that part? Because I do remember you saying that you just started crying because you were
so angry.
Because you were angry, but you were also thinking about like men, right? Like you mentioned something about like guys.
Yeah, because this is very nice guys finish last.
Yeah.
And I hate that. I don't know. It just makes me inwardly cringe. Mm-hmm. Like I have talked to people like this, and it's very main character syndrome.
Yeah.
Like they feel like they have to be the one that's like
suffering.
Yeah. And then the fact that he's an author, it's like he's very presumptuous of himself. Mm-hmm. So he's over here like, I get it. I get life, and she doesn't get it. Mm-hmm. She doesn't get how beautiful she is. And it's like, ew. It's like, that's not for you.
Nobody cares about your scars. It's just you.
That's so gross. So the fact that he wasn't man enough to like be like, no, I should be sorry. Mm-hmm. I fucking hurt you, and I shouldn't have done that. I committed a crime.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Doesn't matter that I was 16. I still did it. I'm of age to be tried as an adult for a crime. Mm-hmm. So I hated that he just kind of let it be.
I also hate that she was so unaffected by how fucking weird he is. Mm-hmm. Like everything that he would say that was weird, she would find endearing. Like she'd be like, wow, finally someone who appreciates all this beauty. You know what I mean? Like it's just weird. How is it possible that Ben was the only one who was okay with her scars? Like no other guy that you talked to? Well, I guess Theodore.
But to be fair, she had just gotten her scars 2 years before. Mm. And I'm pretty sure she wasn't really showcasing herself at that point.
Yeah.
And then when she was starting to get, like, suitors, I guess. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't make me like Ben anymore. Mm-hmm. I fucking hated that man.
He's literally so fucking cringy.
I hated that he dated Jordan.
I hated that, too. How do you come back from that?
You don't. Because he left a whole family when they broke up. Mm-hmm. I fucking hate this book. I want to bury it.
Me too.
I want to buy it just so I could bury it.
Yeah, me too. I feel like I'm in the same boat as you, where if I could give it anything lower than a 1, I would. Well, I can on Storygraph, but not on Goodreads.
Yeah. But I need to count this as a red for my TBR goal. You know what TBR is?
Can you remind me?
It's too hard. I can't
Ask
do
me
it
later.
What's with our stupid fuckboy voices?
That's literally what I think he sounds like.
Babe, I would have said your mind. I can't.
Do you even know how much I fucking love you? I love you more than I love your boobs, bitch. Which is a lot.
Both of them?
Yeah, especially the left.
Oh my God. I can't. I'm so glad this book is done.
Same. I never want to think about it again.
That being said, thank you for everyone who is listening to us in audio form, whether that be Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or anywhere you get your podcasts on. If you can leave us a rating of 5 stars and just like review us and just talk about this book. I'm excited to read a 5-star, actually. I want to see what other people think about this book because it does really well.
Yeah. I mean, people love coho, so I'm sure it has a lot of 5 stars.
Damn.
People are reading this and thinking, damn, when am I going to find my Ben? God, when?
I hate it. If you want to support us with monetarily, what can they do?
We do have a Patreon. And at the moment, there's not a lot on there, but if you really want to show us that you love us, love our content, you can find us on patreon.com/buckfix. If you don't want the commitment of monthly, you can find us on Ko-fi, which is ko-fi.com/thebuckfix, or buymeacoffee.com/thebuckfix.
If you are watching us on YouTube, thank you so much. If you can like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell because we post every Tuesday and Thursday. If you want to support us on social media, we do have an Instagram and a Threads at the BookFixPod, THEBOOKFIXPOD. We have a TikTok at the BookFix, THEBOOKFIX. And we have a very active Goodreads, THEBOOKFIXPOD.
Don't lie to them.
Thank you.
It's not active at all. As of right now, anyway.
Oh, Colleen.
So this is written by Persephone. They gave it 1 out of 5, and they wrote, "And to think trees were cut down for this atrocity to be printed."
That's good. That's good.
Thank you. I didn't write it. Shout out to Persephone.
This comes from Kyra, who gave it a 5 out of 5 on Goodreads. And it says, "What's this? A romance novel that actually shocked me? Dare I admit that it even made me cry? I didn't read the synopsis for this before checking it out of the library. I'll admit I'm pretty much at the point where I will try any Colleen Hoover novel that isn't strictly YA solely because of her hype. So I was pleasantly surprised when I quickly became attached to the story. I love the concept of them only meeting once every 5 years. I love the confidence that Ben gave Fallon. I practically smiled like a giddy schoolgirl throughout the first 200-ish pages. Everything about it was absolutely adorable. So here I am blissfully swooning through the entire novel, and then all of a sudden, bam, a huge plot twist comes out of nowhere and knocks me straight onto my ass. I went from floating on a cloud to being in a dark, bottomless pit, and I loved every second of it. The emotions in this novel were so raw, so real. I felt the love. I felt the heartbreak. I felt the regret. I felt everything. This is the coho that nearly every single person is hyping up. This is the coho I have been waiting for."
Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next time.
Bye. Were Tate and Miles in this?
Yeah.
Post Ugly Love?
Yeah.
Can you remind me what they were doing in this book? Did they just pass by?
They just get mentioned. They just mention them.
Oh.
Like a little Easter egg, you know?
Oh, coho.
I just want to say, I feel like this book, you know what it needed? Them to like date other people. Can you imagine?
Well, he
comes back and then no, but like not like that. He comes back and he's like, babe, I met this girl a year ago and she and I we're going strong.
I kind of wish, yes. I kind of wish that her first time wasn't with him. That kind of like, because it felt, I don't know what it is with these authors, because it's Penny D, it's Coho, it's any authors that write these types of stories, but it feels like the only way to make the sex appealing is that the main character that is going to have sex with them, the love interest, has to get her when she's a virgin.
Yeah, and it's fucking weird.
That's weird. It's like sexualizing or fetishizing virginity.
Yeah, which just honestly disgusts me. So yeah, I don't know. I just hated them. I would just wish they just would have experienced more outside of each other.
Yeah, I get it.
When I first heard about the book, I thought that's what it was. I thought they liked each other the first time, and then after that they'd be like, oh, I liked you, but I met this guy.
And you know what we didn't talk about? There was a line in the beginning of the story where she said, like, well, you know, at the end of the day, you're writing this for your book, and just because we're meeting each other doesn't mean we have to end up together. We can still have like a very meaningful relationship. I thought they weren't gonna end up together.
Yeah,
I thought that's where it was going, but instead it fucking made me angry.
that would have been better.
That being said, I'm gonna go cry in my pillow.